Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about Unfortunate Love was how Malishka destroyed the plan that Rishi and Ayush had already put in place to expose Balwinder, because Malishka knows that if Balwinder should be exposed, then she is also going down with him. So let's continue from there. Ayush comes in and sees Malishka and Kiran talking. Ayush asks Malishka and Kiran if he disturbed them. He says sorry and says he came to ask Malishka about Balwinder. Malishka asks that what do I have to do with Balwinder? She says even I know him like the other family members. She asks Ayush that what new thing would I have known about Balwinder? Rishi says to Lakshmi that when my family matter comes, then I don't bear it lightly, and says even you are my family as long as you are here. He says sorry and says I will not say this again. Lakshmi asks that how do you know about my heart talk? Rishi says it is my heart talk and says I don't feel good thinking about this, and your smile vanishes. Rishi says to Lakshmi that why should we spoil our mood thinking about tomorrow? Lakshmi smiles and nods her head. Rishi asks Lakshmi to say yes or no. Lakshmi says yes and she holds Rishi's hand. She says do whatever you want to do. I am with you and I don't want any trouble to come on this family. She asks Rishi to promise her that nothing would happen to him. Rishi says nothing is going to happen to me, I promise. Ayush says to Malishka that it is okay if she doesn't know anything about Balwinder. Malishka thinks that thank God, Ayush did not hear us. Ayush says, I saw you signaling to Balwinder when Rishi was beating him and asking Balwinder to say the truth. Malishka asks that why will I signal to Balwinder? And she asks Ayush that are you for real? Ayush says yes, why will you signal to him? Malishka says she has nothing to do with that cheap man. Kiran says the truth will be known when Balwinder gets up. Ayush jokes and he goes. Karishma says, I don't know if Rishi did the right thing or the wrong thing. Kiran says it is about maturity. Rishi would have thought about that. She says if Balwinder tells anything to the police, then Rishi will be trapped. Neelam says Rishi is not wrong and says the person that is trying to ruin our family should be exposed. She says Balwinder cannot do this alone. Virendra says that Balwinder knows us well and he cannot do this alone. Someone is helping him. Neelam says when Balwinder was working as our driver, he used to come to us being scared, but now he is bold. She asks Virendra to make sure that nothing happens to Rishi and says that she will see their enemies supporting Balwinder. Rishi splashes water on Balwinder's face. He gets it while eating Balwinder. Lakshmi asks Rishi to sit and they look at each other. Ayush comes there and plays the trumpet sound. He says he brought it to play it into Balwinder's ear. Rishi keeps his hand on his ears and says we will not harm our ears. Rishi and Lakshmi keep their hand on their ears. Lakshmi asks that what about your ears? Ayush says he did this arrangement and he shows cotton balls in his ears. He plays the trumpet sound, but Balwinder is still sleeping. Rishi says he is not acting. Let him sleep. He goes. Ayush asks that why is Rishi angry? Lakshmi says Rishi loves a lot. Ayush asks Lakshmi that did Rishi says that he loves you? Lakshmi says no, Rishi loves the family. Rano tells Neha that they have 2 servants at home for free. Shalu comes there. Rano says she has come and she asks that where did Shalu go to? Neha asks if Shalu is thinking of excuse. Shalu says I had gone to my sister's house. Rano says they have insulted me. She goes. Shalu asks God to be with Lakshmi. Kiran hires goons and gives them 5,000 rupees to kill Balwinder. They tell her that they will take Balwinder and dispose his dead body. Kiran shows Malishka's picture to them and says she would open the door for them at 12. Ahana asks Lakshmi to sit and have food. Ayush asks Lakshmi not to do much work. Lakshmi says okay, I will not make food from tomorrow. Ayush asks what did you say? He asks Lakshmi not to do any other work, but she should make food for everyone. He says, I want to eat the food made by you all my life. Rishi looks on. Grandma smiles. Ayush asks Lakshmi to come. Ahana says, sister-in-law, sit. Neelam gets up, seeing Lakshmi on the opposite chair. She says, the person that is destroying my house is in front of my eyes. How can I eat food? She asks Virendra to ask Mukesh to send the food to her room. Kiran says, I will leave too. Malishka asks Kiran to stay back tonight, and she asks Karishma if she can stay here. Karishma says this house is yours after your marriage with Rishi after his divorce. Everyone looks on. Kiran tells Malishka that she has hired Gun to get rid of Balwinder, and she asks Malishka to open the door for them at 12 p.m. Malishka says, what if they get caught? Kiran says they are professional and they will not take my name. She asks her to open the door and says she doesn't want her name to come out. Sonia comes there and says that the person that is helping Balwinder will be caught today, and Rishi is sleeping in the hall tonight so that Balwinder doesn't escape. Kiran asks, can I sleep at this side of the bed? Sonia says, of course. Malishka comes to Rishi and asks him to go to the room and sleep. She says, I will give you head massage. Rishi says he doesn't like anyone touching his hair. Malishka says, I will massage your shoulder. She massages Rishi's shoulder. Lakshmi comes there holding blanket and pillow. Rishi says, I don't need it. Lakshmi asks Rishi to be careful and she goes. Malishka thinks that she has to massage Rishi because of Balwinder. Rishi closes his eyes. Malishka bends down to kiss his forehead. Rishi gets up and asks that what is Malishka doing? Malishka says, I was just checking if you were already sleeping. She asks him to relax and sleep. Lakshmi thinks if someone is with Balwinder, she thinks that who wants to destroy us? She says Rishi will find out the truth anyhow, and she hopes that Rishi will be fine, and she asks God to protect Rishi. Malishka asks Rishi to sleep and she gives him pillow. Lakshmi thinks that as long as Balwinder is here, I will be worried for Rishi. She thinks to go and ask Rishi if he needs coffee. Malishka thinks that it is 12 p.m. I should open the door. Mom has hired goons that will come inside. Lakshmi is coming there. Malishka says Lakshmi and runs back to sleep on the sofa, and she pretends to be sleeping. Lakshmi says Rishi is sleeping and she goes. Malishka thinks that this idiot Lakshmi came to see if we are romancing. I want this, but I am trapped here due to her. Ayush checks the time and says it is 12, and then why did I sleep? Malishka opens the door and asks the goons to come in fast. They come inside. She asks them to open the rope and release Balwinder, and they open the rope. Malishka senses that someone is coming, and she hides with the goons behind the pillar. Ayush comes there and thinks that Rishi is sleeping. He comes down. Malishka thinks that Ayush should not see that the rope is open. Ayush asks Balwinder if he is still sleeping, and he thinks if he had added overdose of medicine in his drink that made him sleep like this. He looks at Balwinder and he goes to his room. Malishka signals to the goons to come again. Lakshmi recalls Malishka massaging Rishi's shoulder. The goon opens the rope. Rishi wakes up. Malishka asks the goons to hide. The unconscious Balwinder falls on Malishka. Kiran gets worried for Malishka in the room and she comes downstairs. Rishi asks Malishka that why did you open the rope on Balwinder's body? Malishka looks on. Kiran comes there and pretends, telling Malishka that you have called me to say that some goons came to free Balwinder. Malishka says yes, I did not let the goons take him. Kiran goes to the goons and asks them to push her away and run away. The goons push Kiran and they run out. Rishi runs behind them, but he turns after saying that Balwinder is regaining consciousness. Malishka thinks to ask Balwinder to escape. Rishi owed Balwinder and says your friends had come here to free you. It is good that Malishka saw you and she did not let you go. Balwinder thinks that Malishka caught me. She is trapping me, but I was saving her. He thinks to expose Malishka once and for all and drown with him. Ayush, Neelam and others comes there. Rishi says Malishka did not let Balwinder go. Ayush tells Balwinder that he slept concurrent sleep. Karishma asks Kiran that what is she doing here? Kiran says Malishka did not care for her life and she caught Balwinder. Malishka asks Kiran not to praise her. Karishma praises Malishka and says we are proud of you. You did not let the family enemy go. Virendra also appreciates Malishka's courage. Ayush says very brave, I must say. Well done. Balwinder thinks that Malishka is your real Nagin. She is this house enemy. I will tell the truth, and then you all will get slippers and beat her. Rishi asks Balwinder to tell the truth and says I have lost my patience and I will do such a thing with you that you have never thought of in your life, I swear. Rishi says to Balwinder that if you tell me the truth, then I promise that I will not do anything and I will let you go freely. He says if you don't tell me the truth, then you know what I will do. He says it is in your hands, whom you want to save, your life or that person, so decide. Ayush asks Balwinder to talk. Rishi says he will tell us. Balwinder looks at Malishka and points his finger at her. and Rishi and his family are shocked to see Balwinder pointing his finger at Malishka. Malishka asks Balwinder that, "Have you gone mad? I did not do this." She swears and says Balwinder is lying. Kiran asks everyone not to come in this cheap goons talk. Rishi says, "I cannot believe that you can do this." Malishka says, Rishi says, "I understood everything," and says it was your plan to make Balwinder escape, but I woke up at the right time. Malishka cried and says, "I did not do this." Balwinder says a cat wants to earn good deeds after eating 110 rats. He says it was Malishka that told me everything. He tells Rishi that Malishka informed him about Lakshmi's pregnancy, and Malishka asked him to come to the house and claim to be the father of Lakshmi's baby. Malishka says, "I don't talk to people like you," and she shed crocodile tears. Balwinder says that Malishka is very selfish. Kiran slaps Balwinder and says, "My daughter never met cheap people like you," and says you are taking her name to save yourself. Balwinder says, "Your daughter told me that Lakshmi is having the baby in her tummy," but Malishka denied it and tells everyone that this is not a standard. Kiran asks that why does Malishka have to justify herself, and says that she is the to-be daughter-in-law of the house and she will not team up with a cheap guy just to take revenge from Lakshmi. Kiran says Malishka alone is enough to handle Lakshmi and says this guy is trapping my daughter. Balwinder says to everyone that Malishka told me about the pregnancy. Rishi asks if Balwinder has proof. Balwinder says yes, and he plays the recording in which Malishka is saying that nobody will believe him if he tells them that she asked him to do this. Malishka says this is not my voice. Rishi shouted and says enough Malishka. He says this is the Oberoi's house. We are not rich by money, but we are also rich with values and with good manners, and we are not foolish. Rishi says to Malishka that I am regretting lying to Lakshmi and marrying Lakshmi by lying. He says I should have told Lakshmi about my bad luck and the 1-year marriage and also the horoscope, and I would have let Lakshmi decide on her own to marry me. Malishka asks that what are you saying? Rishi says Lakshmi has risked her character to save my family's respect, but we all betrayed her. Rishi says we all taunted Lakshmi, but she bear everything silently. This proves that Lakshmi's heart is clear and her soul is good. Lakshmi is pure. Rishi says the other side is you. You brought this cheap guy into the house to ruin Lakshmi's respect. He says if Balwinder is standing with us today, then it is because of you, Malishka. Rishi says to Malishka that nobody has the courage to touch Lakshmi without her consent, and this cheap guy touched her because of you. He says Balwinder touched my wife because of you, and says he has gone ahead to destroy my wife's character. He says Balwinder's truth had come out long back, and now your truth is also out. Rishi says to Malishka that I cannot believe that you can do this. Malishka says I did not do this. Neelam says to Malishka that don't expect anything from me, and says Lakshmi is not Lakshmi for me, but I know that she is this house daughter-in-law. She says you don't have the right to ruin our family, and says sadly you try to make the house impure. Sonia says to Malishka that mom is right. This time it is your mistake, Malishka. Karishma also says to Malishka that you have done wrong this time. Lakshmi says to everyone that if you count Malishka's mistakes, then she will give clarification. Malishka asks Lakshmi not to say a word in a personal matter. Lakshmi says, don't you dare say this, because this matter is mine before becoming this family and your matter. Lakshmi angrily says to Malishka that my character was accused and I bear the taunt. She says for us, a girl's respect is more than her life. She says you have raised a question on my parents' upbringing who are not alive. She says you call yourself a woman after doing this. She says all those fingers that were on me then are now pointing at you because of my parents' blessings. And Malishka looks defeated as everyone is blaming her. Alright guys, so I know someone would have been asking if this is Malishka's imagination, because that is what Zeeworld is known for, right? Yes, it is Malishka's imagination, and at the same time, it is not her imagination. Balwinder actually tells everyone that it was Malishka that actually asked him to come to the house, truly. But unfortunately for Balwinder, he will not be able to prove to them that Malishka actually did it, because he will be looking for his phone, but he will not be able to find his phone. So later, Malishka would ask Balwinder to point finger at Lakshmi and Neelam. So I don't want to give too much spoilers. You'll get to see what is going to happen as we continue with the updates by tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.